Lene, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, everybody seems to be connected. Who's,
Alright, and then do a roll call of who's in the room so they know.
okay, and, let's see, who do we have here? For you guys on the phone, in the room with us, we have Mr. Fairbanks, Mr. Walker, Miss Arrington, Mr. Roach, Mr. Taft Thomas, Miss Havens, Solis, myself, and let's see, there's Jamie Primo, Jennifer Hughes, Carla Kirby, Tammy DeBartolo, Stacy Dubrock, and Jackie Brown and Matt Martin doing the tech for us.
And I have you all live on my phone.
Oh, fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and do the recorder. All right.
Kendra, would you please go over the names of the board members that are present once more?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Not at all. The board members present are Mr. Michael Fairbanks, Mr. Greg Walker, Miss June Arrington, Mr. Ralph Roach, Mr. Morris Taft Thomas, and Miss Lana Havens.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we'll call this meeting of the Board of Control for the Rapid Parish Library to order. First on the agenda is to the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just take a moment of silence. Solicitation of the public comments. Let's see anybody from the public, so we'll move on from there. Everybody's got a chance to look at the agenda. Need somebody to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor of approving the agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Next section is board member reports. What do we have in today? So we need to, have just look over the December minutes. We need a approval of the December minutes.
I so move.
Okay, moved and seconded. Does anybody have any comments about the December minutes or any questions? Okay, all in favor of approving the agenda, the December minutes, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, okay, the December minutes have been approved. And the first report up is gonna be the financial report, based on you.
Good afternoon. You have in your reports the October and November reporting on our financial statements. We do not have December at the moment, as we have bills still coming in to be coded to that month. For now, though, we are running pretty decently on maintaining our budget. We are a little over on all our COVID supplies, since that really wasn't budgeted, but we're under on a few other things from all the closures. So we're still okay when it comes to the budget. Most of our expenses for the month of October and November were just our standard monthly expenses. However, we did have, our first couple payments on the Boyce project. That would be on page 4. We did pay one set of architect fees and one of the building fees, and we should start seeing some more in December. And we'll start our regular payment to get us finished out. We also had the amount of COVID, we're up to approximately 9,000, I believe. If you look that over, if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer. But as of right now, we're looking relatively good. Okay. Thank you very much.
Any questions about the financial report? If I can get a motion to approve the financial report?
I move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of approving the financial report, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, financial report has been approved. Next up is the director's report.
All right, I'm loud enough and I have the phone right here next to me, so I'm just going to, from my seat. The library has experienced multiple closures over the last month, unfortunately. Our Johnson, King, Labuse, Heinsohn, and Westside branches did have policy mandated closures to quarantine due to staff exposures to COVID-19. Thankfully, our staff all seems to be doing well. Those who are ill seem to have mild symptoms and mostly have recovered. We have now returned to curbside service at all branches. We do have, of course, a closure that's not included in here. Last Monday, due to weather, there was a closure of the local schools as a precaution because of the expected freezing rain and possible snow that could cause hazardous road conditions. So we did have that Monday closure for the anticipated weather. Thankfully, there wasn't any building damage, there weren't any accidents, things have gone well. We are still maintaining our curbside level of service in order to protect the staff and our communities. We've contacted our vaccine provider, who typically is in charge of our influenza vaccine each year for the staff, and they have us now on the list to have a staff vaccine drive whenever it's possible for us to get the COVID-19 vaccines here for our staff. So we are on that list. The Boyce update that I have for you all, with Miss Jordan's prompting, I and the help of Jennifer Hughes, I was able to get a blog going that is attached to our website that has updates and pictures, and I've been going by the site on a very regular basis, typically about once per week. And as we were seeing significant changes in the forms going up, the foundation being poured, all of those things, we are updating that and including new pictures. So please, as I get new information, it's being uploaded there. So if you'd like to see in real time the updates, you can go to our website, click on the Boyce Project link, and then see what's going on. We are, of course, going to be starting strategic planning very soon. I know I asked those of you who are interested in strategic planning to volunteer for the Long Range Planning Committee, because a large part of their duties in the coming year is going to be participating in strategic planning. I have a base model for how I would like for this to happen. I'm putting together a cohort of board members, staff members, and administrative staff, and then we're also going to be reaching out to people who are leaders in our community, patrons, and those who are non-users, to get feedback and see what we want the next decade of our library service to look like. And then we're going to break that down and see what we want for our projections for the next 5 years with immediate goals, and do an analysis of the services we currently provide and how we can better those, and what new services we might offer to our community in the coming years. So that's what I have for you right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the next would be direct services report.
Excuse me,
Yes.
of staff.
Yes.
Is, for those who would like the vaccine. So you're working with the regional health department here?
We're actually working with Walgreens, who's typically our provider for the influenza vaccines, and we're going through their offices. Once all of our staff, or the majority of our staff, is within the schedule, I guess you would say, for those who should receive it, then they'll see about setting us up. They have a list going for the different vaccine clinics for different organizations, so we're on that list.
Okay, so working with Walgreens, so staff would have to go to Walgreens for their, vaccine?
No, ma'am. They typically come for the influenza, for instance. They come to HDH one day, and then staff who are interested can come in and get the vaccine. And depending upon their insurance and how it's coded, they either pay or don't. And we do typically open it up, I believe, to some staff family and things like that, that they can pay for it if they would like to show up and get the vaccine as well.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. It's a really good opportunity. Stacy Dubrock has been working on that, getting that squared away for us.
Any other questions or discussion?
Any other questions?
Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to the direct service report with Lynette.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, very good. I don't have a whole lot to report, just as continuing with police, gave you information with the branches. We're happy to have this week where all branches are open and operating on first side. Just for one branch, and I'm not, against any other branch, but it was a pleasant surprise. I had to use the drive-through at Lagoon. And one of the ways they're still trying to engage customers, even though they're doing curbside, they had windows display and information when you're driving up to the first window before you get to the actual window to be serviced. There's a lot of information there, and they changed it out from Christmas to winter, and so it's just one way that the branches are trying to keep customers engaged with the library, even though they can't come in. And there are many other examples of how the branches are making that happen. So grateful to all that work on the direct service side and keep things going, and pushing even outside of their own personal level to keep the branches open. And so that's all I have for you today. Any questions?
Does anybody have any questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to the human resource report with Jackie Brown.
I don't have anything to report other than the director's evaluation at the end.
Okay. And we will get to that shortly. So next up would be the outreach and youth service report with Amy Barlow.
Good afternoon. Make sure you can hear me. We recently got a grant from the Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities. It was a really quick turnaround on this grant, but we did receive it. And it's to do a book discussion on the history of the vote and who gets to vote and who doesn't and why. So it's going to be a really interesting book discussion. There's 4 different texts that we're going to be using. And I've reached out to Dr. Jerry Sanson from LSUA, who's interested in doing the project, so he's going to let me know. And I'll keep you all updated on it, but I just wanted to let you know that that was coming. It's going to, one of the texts has to do with women's suffrage. One of them has to do with the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And one of them has to do with the disenfranchisement of the incarcerated and formerly incarcerated people. So I think there's a little bit of something interesting for everybody, and I think it's a very timely subject. I think it's really going to be good. I submitted the grant to the Rapides Foundation, the grant proposal for the story walks and we should be hearing something in a couple of weeks. So we're really, got my fingers crossed that we'll get that grant. I hope we do. And as part of, I belong to, well, the library does, My Community Cares. It's the group that the two zip codes, one's in Pineville, one's in Alexandria, where there's more kids that have been removed from families, and there's more crime and poverty. My Community Cares comes in and addresses the problems there. And there's clergy people with the district attorney's office, police, or the library belongs, everybody that has a stake in community. And they trained us last week how to do a parent cafe. And it's a virtual cafe where parents can come on and discuss things, problems that they're having. And they taught us how to facilitate that, which was really, really good. So I'm glad I did that because it's all Zoom, and they taught us how to do a Zoom, which is not in my wheelhouse. That's all new to me. So I'm Zoom now. Anybody have any questions? Thanks.
Anybody have any questions for Tammy?
What did she say, the training, Tammy, what was the training on that you received?
It was My Community Cares. It was how to do a Zoom parent cafe where parents who have problems that they want to discuss can have a safe space to discuss those things and
Okay.
break out.
I'm sorry, it was a little garbled, and so I didn't quite hear, but thank you, I've got it now.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? If not, we'll move on to the IT report from Jamie Freeman.
Good afternoon. Can y'all hear me?
You're very Jamie.
Okay, let me. Okay, is that better?
Better, thank you.
Okay, I just have a few things to report. I don't have anything in your packet, but I wanted to talk a little bit about IUG. Every year, Innovative holds a user group conference, and at least one person gets to go. And of course, last year it was canceled, but this year they're going to do a virtual conference, and because of the cost, all of the ILS staff and myself, and I think Wes and maybe somebody from acquisitions will be able to attend. So we're kind of excited for that, and that will be in March. So I'm sure after the conference we'll have lots to tell y'all. Also, we have started to purchase computer equipment for Boyce, just the normal computers stuff that we buy for all the new branches, laptops, and for the meeting room, the TV, big screen TV, and all of that type of stuff we're purchasing. And then one of the things we did right before the end of the year was purchase a new firewall that sits in our server room. And we didn't know this at the time, but the firewall that we purchased is going to allow us to eliminate routers at each branch. So instead of internet being routed through the router at each branch, it's going to just route through the firewall that sits at main. So that's going to help with cost, because in this year, 2021, we had planned to buy new routers, so that'll free up a little money. So we were kind of excited about that. And that's really all I have. If y'all have any questions. Okay, thank y'all. Guess I'll just leave it right there.
Did anybody have any questions? Nope, okay. Then we'll move on to public relations with Jennifer Hughes.
Hello. So I have several updates for us. We finally reached 102. What? We have finally reached 102 subscribers on our YouTube channel, so I was able to give us a custom URL, which will make it easier for people to find us on there. We're really excited about that and ready to start growing some more on there. Every location, RTL location, is now verified with Google's My Business. That allows us to update information for the community on our Google business listings. So if they search for Heinston Branch on Google, it will list the hours that they're open at that time. It will have pictures of the branch, events that are happening at that branch currently. So it's another way to get information out to the community. I won't cover the new Boyce branch, Celeste did that. For our social media post plan, I kind of make a schedule every year to help me make sure we cover all of our services and resources throughout the year. And I've added the laptop hotspot checkouts, curbside communicator, Mason Crest, homebound deliveries, bookmobile, and the virtual library cards to that to make sure that we're including it. Also, we're looking at having closed captioning for all of our virtual programs. That will increase accessibility to the hearing impaired so they can also participate. So I'm really excited about that. We only grew 100 new followers on social media this month, but people are busy right now, so we'll continue to see growth pick up as it gets closer to summer. And last time we met, I told you guys that we switched to a new email provider to send out what was a monthly email. I send out a weekly email now. We currently have almost 10,000 subscribers. We have an average of 28.5% average click-through rate, which is good. Wait, I got that backwards. Open rate. The open rate is 28.5% and the click-through rate is 10%. I want to increase that to 3%, which would be the average for our industry. So we'll be working on that through targeted marketing, and we've added a subscription area to the homepage. And on the back, you'll see my media relations. Any questions?
Any questions? No? Okay. Thank you very much. Now we'll move on to old business. We believe we've had any, is that correct? Okay. So now we need to,
Are you asking about old business?
right,
This is Leandra. I would like to say thank you to the staff who prepared the RPL Year in Review 2020 booklet. It was very well done and appreciated. And I'm sure there'll be copies available maybe in the branches whenever we can get traffic in there again. Or is it just for staff and board members?
It was created just for staff and board members. It was created just for staff and board members, but we, and also police jurors, but, we can definitely make copies available to our community.
It was just very well done, and we send one to the state library in Baton Rouge.
Yes, of course.
Great, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
okay. Next up is gonna be new business, and the first item on the agenda is the nominating committee met earlier to see about the 2021 officers. And the slate we are putting forward is myself, Michael Fairbanks as president, Greg Walker as vice president, and Leandra Jordan as treasurer. Is there any discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none, we need to get a motion to approve the slate.
This is Linda, and I move that we accept that slate of officers.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, the slate of officers is approved for 2021. Thank you. Next is the formation of the 2021 committees. And I believe
Yes.
we have that in your packet. So does anybody have any questions about the committee assignments? No, and I actually did have one question since, as president, I'm on each committee, so we need to find another person to go in personnel.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Ms. Arrington, you'll, okay. Ms. Emma?
Julie Arrington has volunteered to be on the personnel committee. Thank you.
Who did?
Jean Arrington.
June.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, do we need to approve that, or, okay. We need to get a motion to approve the committee assignments for the Board of Control for 2021.
This is Dana Cox. I move that we accept that. I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor of the committee assignments? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, the committees are now set. Thank you very much. And the next item will be the adoption of the 2021 meeting dates. So everybody will take a look at that, and basically it's the same as always. No meeting in July. The November meeting will be a little early, and of course the December meeting will be early because of the holidays. So, does anybody have any questions or discussion about it? Okay, hearing none, just need to get approval to accept these meeting dates.
This is Leanda. I move that we adopt the 2021 meeting dates as listed. I'll second it.
Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor of accepting adopting the meeting dates for 2021? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, we adopted the meeting dates for 2021. Great, thank you. Now the next is the conflict of interest reports. I don't know, is there anything we need to really discuss about that?
No, we just need all of you to be sure that you fill in the conflict of interest reports and return those to Kendra as soon as possible.
And,
Certainly before the next meeting, but as soon as possible.
imagine same thing for member profiles and contact
Yes.
information forms.
Yes.
So there's really no discussion about that, just please everybody have them turned in. The next is discussion of the FFCRA mandated COVID-19 sick leave policy extension.
Yes.
Assume you're gonna cover that, please.
Well, as you all know, the Families First Coronavirus Response Act expired on December 31st. We have in place currently a policy that expanded our sick leave, allowing for people who test positive for COVID or who have direct exposure to someone who has tested positive for COVID or who is symptomatic to have leave time that is covered. This keeps our staff safer, it keeps our community safer. Despite the expiration of the federal mandate, I'm asking that we go ahead and extend our in-house mandate until June of this year. So by that time, we should have adequate opportunity to have everyone vaccinated or safe at that time. Hopefully our numbers are receding by that point. If we see, say in May, that the numbers are still not where they need to be and this still needs to be active, we can always extend it further, but I do believe June should be adequate. from what I've been told from the local health authorities. So this is simply changing the date of expiration for our in-house policy from December 31 to June 30, 2021.
Anybody have any questions about what Celeste has said?
This is Leandra. I don't have a question. However, I suspect that the federal act may be extended to, I'm thinking probably December of 2021. And of course, the local one that's here before us probably would follow along those same lines if that ends up being necessary. Would that be correct, Felice?
Yes, that is correct. Like I said, this is just a stopgap measure to cover us while the federal is currently expired.
I suspect that the federal one will be extended and possibly with June 30th as the date, but I'm thinking probably December of 2021.
I feel like you're correct, and we will, of course, follow suit if and when that happens. But I do, for right now, this will cover us until that point.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Okay. I guess we need to vote on that, so I need a motion to approve the extension of the sick leave policy that Celeste just told us about.
I so move.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, the extension has been approved, so thank you for our staff. Okay, the next item will be the director's evaluation. I'll turn that over to Greg.
Earlier today, the Personnel Committee met to review the evaluations of staff and board members that had been submitted regarding the executive director. Please, if you will recall, a score of 0 to 50 does not meet expectations, 51 to 85 meets expectations, and 86 to 100 exceeds expectations. The score, average score for the board was on the evaluation is 92.56, and the average score for the staff is 89 8/10, so 2/10 from 90. The average scores of the board and the staff are 91.18 100s. So that's exceeds expectations. Does anyone have any questions about the evaluation? If not, I'll turn things back over to Mike.
So, everybody heard that? I don't know what we need to do.
Nothing, just
Okay,
that
yes.
it's stated.
Okay, so if there's no discussions, we'll move on, and, the next meeting will be on February the 16th here at Westgate, West Side again. Does anybody have any other comments or questions before we close the meeting? Hearing none, this meeting is now adjourned. Everybody stay safe.
Thank you. We're done.
Thank you.
I have a question for Kendra.
Yes.
The address where we mail the forms to, is it 411 Washington Street?
Yes, it is. That's correct.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you so much. You can put it to my attention so it'll get directly to me.
Absolutely, but I wasn't sure about
Yes.
the mailing address.
That's the one. That'll get it here. All right. Thank you guys so much, and I'm gonna,